What the hell is wrong with this show, man? They somehow continue to find a way to not only top themselves, but piss me off more and more. Whether it's the eliminating of best boys left after right, to crushing my heart. Like, I have seen scumbags. I've seen a lot of scumbags in these shows. But an uncle selling his niece to save his own skin after spending the entirety of a freaking episode saying, "I'm not long for this world. I think I'm gonna fall over and die tomorrow." What man is such a pathetic excuse of an individual that when a gun is essentially pointed to your head, you say, "If you let me live, I will give you a young girl. Do with her what you will." The amount of sexual physical violence that would be applied to said girl if being handed over and sold to the wrong person, and your thought is, "I will do anything to survive." I hope they take 4 freaking horses and tie your limbs to each of them and smack them on the ass as they run in opposite directions, and you know the rest. That dude is a grade A scumbag. But the biggest shocker to me was the fact that it took me probably far too long to realize it. I thought Draka was a boy for most of this episode. So initially, when Draka's approaching the village, it took me maybe a little too long to realize what was being implied. Because I was like, damn, the uncle's a scumbag, but, you know, he's at least Draka. Like, I thought maybe Draka was being placed there to be out of the way of harm's way. I was a little too foolish, I gotta be honest. But Draka probably has the most realistic motivation out of any character up to this point. Draka cares about one thing, making money. And if that's not the way that Ochi and Badeni's vision is gonna get spread, I don't know what is. I got full live reactions if you want to support my work, though, over on Patreon. If you want some full and thought to these amazing episodes, it's gonna be over there exclusively. So I made a mistake last week. I wasn't confident, mind you, of this opinion, and I think now seeing who the uncle actually is, I do think I made a major blunder, but given the fact that we were 25 years later, we were also in pretty much the pitch black, I thought it was Noak who was getting, you know, captured initially, but I wasn't confident in that opinion. Because like I said, 25 years is a long, but as soon as I heard the voice, I was like, oh yeah, that's a completely different character. And as much of a scumbag as he might be, there's one thing I can guarantee you, I doubt he would sell out family. I think he might at face value pretend to, but he would have also freed his daughter. But this dude's just a absolute horrible person. And I honestly didn't see the betrayal coming until like they started establishing it. Because up to that point, it was an interesting almost mentor figure. The idea of abandoning God, basically saying, hey, like, just focus on your education. Stop caring about something that could easily not be real. Why limit yourself? If anything, believing in God's going to limit. And he was speaking facts. He really was. And then he sideswipes us with the scumbag energy. The thing is I imagine the way Draka gets out of this is probably, well, they establish in this episode that Draka has like an eidetic memory. So going to a village once, she could map out perfectly where everything is. Meaning that reading that book once means she probably has it ingrained in her memory. She also has a candle. Burn that bitch alive and say, I have knowledge you can't believe. If this is a situation that it's all about the value of something, this man's life got saved because he was going to sell a young girl to save his own skin. Knowledge that could change the foundation of the world probably is also, but how are you going to be able to prove, like maybe save a singular page just so they know it's legit? I don't know. The thing is this is going to be a very easy to overlook situation. I think it continues to flesh out just how absolutely amazing the characterization actually is in the show, which a lot of people probably agree with that. But I think Badeni is probably going to be an impossible character to top in terms of sheer progression. This was a man who went from the most selfish person probable. Like, everything was about, like, if we get caught, we'll sell out this girl, this or that. Like, oh, why would we give profits to some dead person's, you know, father or whoever's in this book? The idea that not only did Badeni engrave Ochi's book into multiple people's skulls via tattoos to preserve his knowledge, he went above and beyond. They burnt the initially, like, when it was like, hey, like, how are we going to split the profits? And, you know, Ochi's kind of like, hey, you know, like, we should, this is this person's original work. If we make money, we should give part of it to this person, which was Raffle's father, right? I'm pretty sure Raffle's dad's probably dead at this point. It's been 35 years, and I don't think you had a long life expectancies back then. But, you know, the fact that despite burning it and saying, if you want him to get money, you can take it from your portion. I'm sure Badeni, if he was still alive today, would say something like, yes, I did put his name in the book, but ultimately we're still taking it out of Ochi's portion of the money. The fact that a character who started so selfish, the only thing that was saved, at the end of the day, I get it. He's like, if I'm not going to be alive, I don't want my shit being spread. But at the end of the day, it's bigger than that. It's the only thing that could be spread was Ochi's word because it's easy to digest. Not to mention, I hope for the love of God that when this is all said and done, because I assume Draka has to be the final character. I do think we could still have a time skip, but I think Draka being the one whose entire reason for spreading this at this point is a monetary gain. I mean, education, Bibles, all this type of stuff, it makes a profit when sold. If we actually do go and we tie this show together by going back to Raffles' home, and this man, I don't care if he's on his deathbed and he gets a freaking payment, that is going to be the cherry on top of this show. I have to be 100%. But the way they handled it, and it's such a different character, because up to this point, it's always been about the progression of humanity or ideas and just beliefs. But the idea of someone who's desperately afraid to not have money. Basically, it's probably to a point of unhealthy obsession, but the idea that what if it's not enough? What if the current way we make money goes away tomorrow? How will we survive? Like, the idea that my father ended up dying, desperately pillaging and plundering, trying to get money so we would survive. Like, I want to have so much money that I never have to worry. It is probably the most believable reason for someone doing something in this show, next to just pure on passion. But money is what makes the world go round, right? And I think it was just so interesting the entire episode watching a village that's pretty in harmony, doesn't really want to step on each other's toes. You kind of understand where Draka was coming from, that if there was rewards for doing better, people would work harder. But on the same token, it would cause for a competition that would disrupt the workforce. And like, there's ways to get in more in the middle ground, but you understand where everyone was coming from. And then they just had to sideswipe you with the most disgusting bullshit known to man. It's one thing to sell out your family. It's another to sell it out to a situation that would whore and beat her. Like, that's what would happen. You know damn well the people who are paying the most amount of money for a female slave are going to do the most unholy, ungodly things known to man. What an absolute scumbag that I hope meets his end. Probably won't, but what a great episode. The show gets better, but it pisses me off the more they kill and hurt these characters. But that's how you know you got Anime of the Year on your hands. 2 years in a row. You let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What did you think? Thoughts if you got any. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon. And tell you while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we got Sage Narf, Andre Cannon, Real Chill, Christoph Zenswoski, JMW, Tokyo, JD, and we also have FL Facts. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.